let's just do like that, and then I turn green. And we open it again.
Hey, there you go.
Don't touch.
Welcome. Welcome.
Big podcast money.
Let's talk about this podcast. Let's talk about that. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our latest episode of Let's Talk About That. I'm your co-host, Tony.
And I'm Martin. Hello, everyone.
Hello. They can't see you wave. Just because I can see you now doesn't mean they can see you.
No, right. Hello. Maybe we'll post this on YouTube. That would be fun for someone, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see how the video turns out.
We're using the webcams today just for fun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see how
we're just adjusting.
Yeah, if it turns out great, maybe we'll post it on YouTube. Easier for people to find us, probably.
Sure.
Today we have another topic. We mentioned it before.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think we mentioned at least that we wanted to do this. The paranormal side of the world.
Yes.
Or our lives or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a topic I have no end of fascination in, so I've been excited to do this one. Originally, I was thinking we'd save it for like a spooky Halloween thing, but I can't wait that long. So
no, it's quite a long time to October. Yeah. When did your fascination start for paranormals?
Well, I think the place where it really started, because you think about, people talk about ghost stories and whatever, they're ghost stories. But in college, when I was in college, for Halloween one year, they had actually hired a real like paranormal investigator to come and do a presentation for anyone that wanted to do it. And so
yeah.
I was curious, so I went, and it really opened my eyes to like, the sort of scientific way that they approach things, that it was more than just ghost stories, and there was kind of processes in place. And the really cool thing, the part that really cemented it for me was, pretty much every college campus has places that are said to be haunted. It seems pretty common. And so as part of it, he took out groups to go and investigate one of the spots that was reportedly haunted. And so we did an EVP session, which EVP stands for Electronic Voice Phenomena, for those who aren't initiated. And we went to one of the auditoriums on campus and did an EVP session, and actually got some interesting results. Nothing conclusive, nothing that I'd point like, see, definitely ghosts are real, but like stuff that was like, huh.
Yeah, it's more the excitement,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? Like the uncertainty that there is something, like being able to actually prove it 100% is quite hard, because there's always something that can interfere with the equipment and stuff like that, especially temperatures and electronics and so on.
Yeah.
But when you have several sightings from different people that's not related at all, that's when you kind of start to wonder what's really happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the sort of format for an EVP session is you kind of sit with a voice recorder, you ask a question, you leave like 15 seconds of silence, and then you listen back to see if you hear anything in the silence.
Yeah.
I thought one of the most interesting moments actually was, for me anyway, I asked the question, do you have a favorite seat in the auditorium? And within like a second or two of me asking that, we heard like a squeak, like one of the seats being lowered a little bit in the auditorium.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that doesn't happen out of the blue. I mean,
yeah, I don't think we heard it.
There's some, yeah. That's really interesting, actually. Yeah.
I was fascinated. I'm like, okay, I want to start my own ghost hunting group, which I never ended up doing, but
yeah, of course, all the plans and yeah. But I guess there is some TV shows and stuff evolving around that over in the US too.
yeah,
Like more real ones than yeah, the obvious
quote unquote reality.
yeah.
Yeah, it's well, so my sort of stance on things, I can't say with 100% certainty that like ghosts exist, but I'm open to the possibility. And my what I would love in what I would love in life is to have the experience that says to me, that just proves to me that like ghosts are a thing.
Yeah.
And like, because that's my own thing. I just want the personal proof, because I've never had anything or seen anything that I'm like, there couldn't be some other explanation for this.
Nah.
They might be really unlikely explanations, but yeah. But a lot of the shows, like you mentioned, I like them, and that was also kind of something that sort of deepened my interest in the paranormal. But of course, a lot of those are sort of sensationalized and, possibly
probably
even
some
fake.
of them are staged too.
Yeah.
For the purpose of entertainment.
Yeah, and
portrayed as real.
Yeah, and I like to watch them still, but yeah, I definitely take anything that Ghost Adventures finds with a huge grain of salt. Because there's like, I get the impression with a lot of these shows that the people that do it are actually sort of passionate about the topic, and like, it's something close to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they've got producers and a network that's breathing down their necks to deliver content.
I think that's the same about artists making music that has a contract with a big producer, that the contract says within 5 years you're going to deliver 5 albums. But you deliver 1 album that's great the first year, and it takes time to make a great album. So the rest of the 4 is just trash. And I guess that's the same thing for those passionate about their work, but you can't force it to be good. You have to actually do it properly.
Just, this is off topic. Not that we ever get off topic, but as a Minnesota native, I have to say, I assume you've heard of Prince before. I mean,
Prince, you mean the artist formerly known as Prince?
Yeah, well, that was a tactic on his part to get around like some sort of contract he had, where all of Prince's music had to be released through this.
Yeah, but he released it again, didn't he? He released
it.
He released it again under the name previously known as Prince, to be able to actually. I think it was something like that.
Yeah, he changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol.
Yeah,
which okay.
Yeah, it's many artists actually do that. Change the name to be able to actually earn some money and the rights to their own songs. That's sad, but again, off topic. Paranormal activities and music, pop stars. That's It sounds like us, though.
There's some overlap there somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what about you, Martin? Is this something that is a fascination for you, or kind of how did it start?
Yeah, kind of. It's the fascination has been lowered over the years, but I was really fascinated before. We had a small pond in close to my parents, close to a small soccer field. Really shallow, muddy water, and so on. And the rumors said that the girl drowned there once, and she was. It was possible to see her around the soccer field, close to the forest there. Of course, this is just BS, because there's never been any drowning there, but it was fun walking around there in the pitch dark and pretending to see, or thinking you see something, and being a kid running around been scared about nothing. Kind of, yeah. And also there was some kind of not crazy asylum, but a place where not mentally stable people lived, pretty close to where I grew up. And there also was a house there for TB, tuberculosis patients. They had this sun house because sunlight is very good for the treatment. And that was abandoned, and there was some pentagrams and stuff painted on doors and things like that. So we always fantasized about that being haunted. Yeah, and of course I watched the famous Norwegian TV show Åndenes Makt, which is kind of the spirit's power, or the power of spirits, where they visit the common man's house that are haunted, and drives the spirit out or whatever, find the background to whom the spirit might be, and so on. Was quite fascinating, but after I think it's 15 years, it's kind of lost its touch, I guess.
Did you get the sense that it was just how much do you get the sense that it was sort of sensationalized, and how much do you think it was legitimate?
Well, when they start changing out the mediums, and you see the newer ones, they had it all wrong a couple of times, and I was like, yeah. But when I was younger, I think I thought most of it was real or somewhat real, but when I grew up, I got another view on stuff. So yeah, but still, it's fascinating because we don't know for sure, do we?
Yeah,
you can say you don't believe it, but you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's people out there that would say that when you talk about being interested in the paranormal and that sort of stuff, they react with a certain sort of derision, like, oh well, you believe in ghosts, that's
you're crazy.
Ghosts aren't real, and
Prove
like
me wrong.
Yeah, yeah, that's part of it. I mean, the scientific method is a wonderful thing. Like it has led to so many things. Modern medicine is a big part of that. I listened to a different podcast called Sawbones, which talks about older medicine and how we did things before the scientific method, and it was a terrible time to be alive.
Yeah. Just in the 60s, it was horrible, actually.
But yeah, like I said, I don't fault. I'm not saying that the scientific method's a bad thing, but I also think that it is, it's arrogant to assume that we know what all the variables are, because that's the thing, is like, you can't prove in the existence of ghosts in a controlled experiment, but I don't know if we know what all the controls are.
You can't disprove it either, because there's no proof it exists, so there's no proof it doesn't.
Yeah, I have zero problem saying to anyone that is in that viewpoint, you're right. There's no proof that ghosts exist. I can't prove they exist, and that's fine. That's the truth. But to not be open to the possibility of it just because we haven't proven it, I think that's closed-minded.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's always a line, between what's believable and what's not, and that line is kind of fluent. Yeah. Some things is okay, something isn't, and my views is different from the next person. So that view is very fluent. That line. Yeah.
Well, and you think throughout history, like all the times where people like, oh, that's not real, and it actually was. Like when they first started, I think it was Joseph Lister or whatever, that started talking about germs and stuff like that, and surgeons are like, no, I'm covered in blood, and it's a proof that I'm great, and like they're infecting their patients, and it's like, well, yeah, you didn't think germs existed, and but they do,
Yeah.
So who's to say, who's to say paranormal stuff. I'm not saying all paranormal stuff is real.
No, that would be insane too.
But at the very least, I tend to think that ghosts are probably real in some capacity, although I'm not claiming to know the nature of what a ghost is.
Yeah, but the ghost, it can mean a lot of things. I mean, the spirits, the ghost, and the entities of energy left behind. I mean, we all are energy, and where does that energy go when we die? That's something we still don't know. I mean, we rot in the ground, that's for sure, but the electricity in our brains and our body cannot just disappear, because energy doesn't disappear, it just changes form. That's another known fact. Energy can't disappear. I use my energy to push the mic, and then its friction becomes warmth, and it just moves around. So
and it's just like, I mean, if we want to get into the real like metaphysical stuff, like, consciousness is such a.
What is consciousness?
It's like, could it be a simply like biomechanical process, or is there something more to it?
That's another line. I mean, it's all about the point of view, I guess. What do you think? What do you feel? What do you mean is consciousness? Is probably something different from what I think and feel. It can be. I mean, both of us have pretty much the same view on life and stuff. So, but to another guy then, or woman.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a fluent line, as I said. Yeah.
I don't know to what extent you want to talk about any sort of personal experiences you've had. But do you want to share any sort of personal experiences?
Yeah, sure, I can. Let's start with what's happened here in our house. For all I know, my house is older than from 1913, because that's when the papers of the land was written, and the house could been there long before. And when we first moved in, we had like this TV stand with a shelf above the TV, and my wife had a picture of me up there, and I don't like pictures of myself, so I didn't want it there, but I let it be. And I was sleeping on the couch because we had a daughter, and she took the whole bed, and if I want to sleep, so I stated I didn't like the picture one night, and that was okay. I slept down there, and the next morning when my wife came to wake me up on the couch, the picture was facing the wall. Yeah, that's quite scary, because she liked it and wouldn't turn it away, and I didn't want to turn it away because she liked it. So I don't know if anyone has did some sleepwalking or whatever, but
Sure.
it was turned around the other way, and we took it down. We have also heard steps while down in the basement, where we have the laundry, and if I was down there, maybe I was alone in the house. I used to have my studio thingy down there with computer and guitars. I could sit there in silence and hear someone walk upstairs, and no one was home. So I thought my wife had arrived home, and I went up and there was no car, no one. That happened with me and my wife several times, but it stopped now after we've done some renovations. The things have just, become silent, luckily.
Yeah.
And this was just right after our daughter was born, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So some other small things happen too, but it's nothing. It could be anything, really. But that's the steps. That's kind of you heard someone walking in the corridor.
I always think that's got to be one of the tougher ones.
Yeah.
to sort of explain away, because that can be a pretty distinct sound.
Yeah. I mean, there's no rats or mice or anything that can make that, and we do not own any animals, so it couldn't be in a dog or something. Because if a dog walked over the floors, you could probably hear it down. But you hear the two-legged steps going over the floors. Yeah. So that's what happened at our house. I have a story or two from my father-in-law's house too. But have you had any experience?
Not many. I've of course I had the sort of stuff at that ghost hunting thing I did in college, which were very minor. I mean, I don't have anything that's like super cool. I at one point, maybe was it last year? I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was last year. I had just gotten a K2 meter for Christmas, which is something you might use for a more like legitimate purposes in electrical work. But it's like, measures electromagnetic field fluctuations and stuff like that. And I actually took it over to a local cemetery, and I had my phone, and I had the K2 meter, and I just decided to try recording and talking and see if I got anything. And I actually got a pretty good EVP.
Yeah.
Like I'm not 100% sure what it says, but it's unmistakably like a human voice to me anyway. And I was there, and there's just no one around that it could have been.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else interesting that's happened to me.
Yeah, because that instrument, it measures electromagnetic pulses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get any hits on the K2 meter. I just got the EVP.
Yeah.
Although there's a lot of it is I did not get permission in advance to share this, so I'm going to keep it anonymous.
Yeah, sure.
But someone that I know and trust actually is fairly sensitive to the paranormal, and most notably, they have seen people at their funerals.
Yeah.
And sometimes the people will try and talk to them, although it hasn't happened in quite a while now. But
Yeah.
But I think that's fascinating, and
Yeah, it's really fascinating, and the most fascinating thing is that you can't prove it wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
it could be visions and the will to see it, but who knows? I mean, yeah, again, that's nothing you can't prove it wrong or right. So you got to believe what you want to believe, and I'm also very fascinated about that. But I like to keep an open mind that it might be wrong. But then again, it's happened several times and in different locations and all stuff. So yeah, it's all about the view on the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife also has, she hasn't had any super amazing experiences. She's had dreams of people, of her grandmother coming to her before, which seemed like more than just a dream. But again, that's
when you're asleep, it's the mind do amazing things. So
yeah, but yeah, so that's, I mean, I don't have a lot. I want to have more. I've been putting my feelers out, trying to find like a Twin Cities based like paranormal group that I could join, because I really feel like strongly pulled to do this in some capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome if you found someone you could hang around with and explore that part of your interests. Yeah, sure. Is there any paranormal sites around Twin Cities?
Oh, I mean, there are certain reportedly haunted ones. I'm trying to think if what I know. Actually, like, there's actually like a ghost tour that you can go on, which I might try sometime. Kind of close to Minneapolis at a little kind of a small city called St. Anthony, which is adjacent to Minneapolis. So I might try that at some point. I'm trying to think. Of course, it's weird because one of the interesting things, a difference, I guess, between here and Europe is, there's so much more history behind your guys' buildings and stuff than there is with ours.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the age of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like your house has been there for, over 100 years. Whereas I think the house I'm living in now was built in 2014, and there's never been a house.
That's a brand new house in my.
Yeah, it's a very new house. I mean, the one we lived in before was made in 1997, so it's like
that's still new, actually. Yeah.
It's like, we just don't have there's not the same history, the same chance for whatever energy kind of absorbs into a location or whatever. So it's interesting, like when I was watching like the Ghost Hunters show, they also had like a Ghost Hunters International where they went to Europe and different places, and it's like the quality and just the nature of the activity seems so much different in Europe and stronger in places.
I mean, USA is and the States in general, before it become a whole country, is a very new collaboration country, whatever. It's just a couple of 100 years old. And when you come to Norway, we have like some castles or stuff like that has been there for about 700 years. and that's so it's natural that there are more stories over in Europe, especially for, I mean, the natives in the Americas probably have some great stories.
I was gonna say I shouldn't discount the pre-European history of the country, because
absolutely not.
Yeah, the spiritual beliefs, all the stuff of the Native Americans. There's a lot there, and some really freaky stuff too. There's one sort of entity I won't even mention the name of, because I've heard that to mention it brings its attention on you. So not that I think any of them are.
Is it a form of a shapeshifter, or is it another one? I know the one. Yeah, I know the one. The one that pretend to be someone or something.
It can be, So that one's
I could mention it, but because you're skeptic to mention it, I'll let it be. For your safety. I mean, it's pretty far over to Europe, so I think I'm safe from that entity.
Oh boy, don't. That's a challenge.
But then again, we have the the Norse gods.
Yes.
And all that stuff. I haven't dove too much into the paranormal stuff from the Nordic mythology, but I guess there is plenty in that era too.
I love mythology too. That's
sure. We need to talk about that some other day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we could make an own podcast about paranormal and mythology. No problem.
I'd do it. Yep.
No problem.
We just have so much free time. We're like, when will we record? It could be any time.
Yeah. Jeez.
Go ahead.
No. I was just looking on Visit Norway. I found. I told you about the site they have actually in Visit Norway about some allegedly haunted places around in Norway. The most famous ones, and we have the castle in Akershus. I just mentioned. That's more than 700 years it has been guarding the Oslo's fjord. And today there is several reports about whispering and scratching noises in the hallways. It was used as pretty strict and horrible prison. And the prison was actually closed down in 1950. So it's been, although it has never been occupied by any foreign army, it doesn't mean that there hasn't been any blood shattered behind the walls. So there's a lot of things going on there. I mean, it's over 700 years old. So something happened. We have some really old hotels with a haunted English lady in Dalen. Yeah, she's called the English lady. She was Miss Greenfield, was her real name. She went into the hotel in spring day in the 1800s, and no one at the hotel knew she was pregnant. And when she left the hotel, they found dead child in the room, and she was executed for child murder. And to this day, there is always a table for her in the hotel's restaurant. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And we have some church ruins from the 1800s. You have the cathedral, Nidarosdomen, where there's allegedly a monk roaming. He was first seen in 1924, but it's kind of strange because there's never been any monk in the cathedral, so that's kind of strange. And we have another hotel where actually one of Wilhelm's, the Count Wilhelm, Emperor,
Kaiser Wilhelm?
Kaiser Williams,
Yeah.
one of his officers, a German count. He didn't have a happy marriage, so he found love there, and he took his own life, and she did. And there's still reports about female whimpering in the blue room, as they call it. Yeah, there is a couple more, but yeah, we could fill about an hour for this.
Yeah.
So visit Norway and a guide to supernatural Norway. Yeah, it's worth a little look if you're interested. I'll put some links in descriptions here and there, and we'll see.
I'm so fascinated, but at the same, I don't know that I'd want to stay at a haunted hotel.
No, it's like I don't think honestly, I don't think that's real. Kind of, it's just stories and people making it up, kind of. But then again, I don't want to stay there. So, so I don't want to believe it, but I don't want it to be true either. So I'm kind of in the middle of two feels.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very sensible place to be. You can't rule it out. You can't necessarily accept, like you understand with your rational mind that there's reasons beyond the paranormal that these stories would abound, but that also doesn't mean there's not something to them. So
I mean, I want to believe it, but I still don't want to believe it's true. I mean, that's probably probably with the background of my religious beliefs or lack thereof. But yeah, it's fascinating nonetheless. And yeah.
Now, I guess we've talked a lot about, ghosts and things like that. Some people would also say the paranormal encompasses some other things too.
Yeah.
Notably like cryptozoology or, UFOs, things like that. Do you have any, what are your thoughts on UFOs?
I mean, UFOs, absolutely, they exist because it's unidentified flying objects. So they exist everywhere all the time. But if there is actually aliens that have visited Earth, nah, I don't believe that.
You don't think so?
No, I don't believe that. Because if if they had visited Earth, why don't we seen them? And if they're so advanced they could come here, the poor human race wouldn't be able to hold them back. And if they've been here, they probably was here a long time ago and have probably left. So, but then again, why isn't there any evidence? So there's a lot of pros and cons there. Someone says that actually the trees are the aliens. Someone say that the animals are the aliens. Someone say that the aliens are actually lurking underneath the ocean and waiting to. And someone say it doesn't exist. I mean, there's so many theories about this, and yeah.
Personally, I've always been less interested in that facet of the paranormal, simply because, if for no other reason than that is a much harder thing to investigate oneself, I guess. And there's also a lot of sensationalism around like faking UFO sightings and stuff like that.
I mean, it's quite simple if you know the way around in Photoshop or something like that. You could put some lights in and bips and bubs and audio from another video or whatever, and you make it your own, and suddenly you have an alien attack.
Yep.
But then again, you have all the encounters that allegedly is from many people at once, seen some, but then we haven't explored all the natural phenomena going on.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and well, and I think for me personally, also, what I think is so interesting about like the ghost side of the paranormal is that, like, if ghosts are real, like that just opens up this whole world of possibilities about reality. Like there's so many questions about reality at that point. If there's aliens, like, okay, there's aliens. It doesn't really change anything. You know, we all suspect there are probably aliens out there somewhere.
Yeah, or there will be, or
yeah, I don't know, but
we don't know the length or the width of the universe, so there's no way to know.
Yeah. What about the cryptozoology side of things?
You mean the Yeti and the Bigfoot and all that stuff?
Yeah, so because I know that's the American thing. Is there like a Norwegian Bigfoot, or?
I mean,
I know you guys have a lot of like fae stories in Europe, right? Fairies and things like that.
Yeah, we have the trolls and all that stuff. We do have that, but we all know the trolls ain't real. The gnomes and all stuff. I don't can't believe in that. There are small humans or human-like creature living around. I can't seem to believe that. I actually don't know much about crypto, like in Norway or Scandinavia. Huh. Now, when you mention it, I don't know much about that here. But
I mean, you've at least had some, like, it's tough because cryptozoology and folklore have some. It's a blurry line between the two, and I know you've done some videos on folklore, so
yeah, I have that, and that's things I've found online. We have Nøkken, which is an eerie water spirit that drags people down to his realm, and we have Fossegrimmen, which either can be a pleasant guy learning you to play nice music on the fiddle or violin, or he can really screw up for you. So, but these are again stories told to frighten children and stuff, to go too close to the water. And we have trolls, and we have wits and generals, and all those stuff. I mean, yeah, and Kraken is probably one of those too. That's from Nordic mythology. The huge squid-like creature living in the sea. We know that giant squids are real and stuff like that, but Kraken, it's nah, it's too big. Maybe it existed a long time ago, and if we drained all the ocean, we could find some skeletons or some remains of some huge animals.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Well,
I'm,
and you know, with that sort of stuff too, like, I mean, the Kraken could have been a real thing, but maybe not in the form that it's like, mythologically shown as, like,
yeah,
because one person exaggerates a little bit, and the next person who tells about it exaggerates it a little more, and you get that
yeah.
sort of like,
A small snowball becomes a whole. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. And I know there's lots of people, and I think this is also an interesting thing, because there's lots of people I hear that like to dramatize things. They
Yeah.
like, even like with ghost stories, with anything like that, and I don't like that. I want everyone to be as skeptical as possible, to
Yeah.
say, you know, but because when you do that, that's how you get the Kraken, is somebody saw a big squid once.
Yeah, someone saw a
you know.
big squid once, and I swear to God, it was so big, it took the
Mhm.
whole boat down.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever, dude, whatever.
Then,
But
and then 5 people later, "Oh, I heard it sunk an entire fleet.
yeah, oh man, you should have seen it. That ice as big as a country. I mean, but then you have the sightings or the alleged sightings of huge snakes and dinosaurs creatures in the jungle in the Congos.
Hmm.
And when the whole tribe says it's there, is it real? I would say no, because a dinosaur creature in that size we would definitely see, and a snake like being tens of meters long, you would be able to see that. Um, Even though it's deep in the jungle, you would. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's very unlikely there is some kind of advanced or huge creature we haven't discovered that is above sea. I
Yes.
mean, we're talking about the firebird that's allegedly been seen somewhere too. I don't know if you've heard about that. Like,
Firebird.
yeah, firebird hasn't been seen. I think, yeah, firebird sightings. Yeah, it's not the car. Thunderbird, I think. A giant thunderbird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's here it says, is the thunderbird a real or myth? A gigantic bird was sighted in Alaska January 2018 by a woman driving, having the wingspan nearly as wide as the road. I mean,
Hmm.
it's been said there's one. It's on the liveabout.com. Let's see here. Alleged sightings. Wingspan of an estimated 10 to 15 feet, and the head about 3 feet long. It's another paranormal thing, I guess. Cryptozoology.
Sure.
And but such big creatures be found now in 2000 and whatever. I found that very unlikely.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that cryptozoology is something that I've generally been less interested. Just because it seems really unlikely.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean the Bigfoot. Why don't we know for a fact it's real?
yeah, I
If
mean,
it's there.
yeah, it seems like, yeah, it seems like when you've got like a large flesh and blood creature that anyone
Mhm.
can see with their own eyes,
Yeah,
it's tough. It's harder for me to think that could go unnoticed in a very scientifically provable way.
yeah. I mean, now we're probably stomping on the fans of Paranormal Junkies' feet. Have you seen that? Paranormal Junkie is a YouTuber who is a paranormal junkie. He has some pretty cool videos where um, he narrates stories
Mhm.
and stuff about different paranormal stuff. that's where I heard about the Thunderbird and the sightseeings in Congo and Africa and all that stuff. Quite interesting, but I'm also afraid to dive too deep.
Yeah, I don't know. I should check that out. I mean, it's tough, like especially like when you're judging paranormal content. It's you've got to look at this who has a stake in the game. Like, is there, when I see these like channels that have a lot of, like paranormal investigating channels, it's like they have a vested interest in finding paranormal stuff.
Yeah, and that's good. That's very
Yes,
good to be actually searching proof.
but at the same token, like if they're making money off of it, it's also harder to accept. It's also harder to accept the veracity of whatever they present because they have incentive to fake something or overblow something. There are ones though that I think like I don't know. You really gotta kind of judge it case by case because there are some out there that I really don't think have a stake in the game other than like showing what's happening to them.
Yeah,
and those are the ones I find really compelling.
Yeah, those who actually just find information and try to look into that themselves and not kind of looking for the evidence itself. Like Paranormal Junkie, he doesn't do any research. Like he's not out in the field, but he's collecting evidence all over the internet and stuff, and also get tips and so on from his viewers and listeners. And
yeah. And I should also clarify. I guess I was also sort of trending back more towards like evidence of ghosts more with what I was saying, because I think if it's there's not much you can do with cryptozoology other than examine the accounts that are out there. It's not going to be what you said the Thunderbird was sighted in like the Congo or something. It's not going to be
no, it was in Pennsylvania or Alaska or something, but it would have been detected by something, some satellites, some radars, something would have seen it when it's 10 to 15 feet wingspan. It's not invisible. So
I don't know. It's
like the Titans.
Yes, getting into the Greek and Roman mythology now. I used to love that.
Yeah, I haven't dove too much into that, but I know the Nordic mythology quite well. At least I think I know it well.
Well, I would imagine so, being a native Norwegian. So
yeah, we learn a bit about it in school actually, but yeah, that's about it. But I've heard something audiobooks and stuff about the mythology, and I like the paranormal stuff, if you can call it that, like the native stories, like the ones I've narrated on my channel about Nøkken and Fossegrimmen. I'm trying to look up more because there is several I haven't heard about that that come to surface when I do some research. It's interesting, absolutely.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. I guess we are sort of approaching our time here.
Yeah, we are.
Amazingly.
Time flies.
Yes, it does. Especially, I mean, like I said, I could talk about paranormal all day. I'm so interested in it. Like,
yeah, I mean, maybe we'll do the next episode. We'll do like mythology, like a nice crossover from this episode to the next. That would be. I mean, there is so much to talk about when it comes to religion and mythology. So yeah, that would be awesome. I think we probably could do that.
Yeah, why not? Unless something else comes up in the meantime that seems even better.
Yeah, sure. hit us up if you know anything out there, listeners.
Yes. Or even if you don't know and you just want to hear about something, that's good too.
Yeah, ask us anything and we'll do our best to answer it. And we'll try to do it the Minnesotan way, getting off topic as much as we can.
Yes. Of course, that is... No one wants to listen to us stay on topic for an hour.
No, that would be sad if they want to do that. Yeah. We come to the end, approximately. About an hour, as we usually do.
Yeah. Before you have to go cook dinner, mostly.
Yeah, no, I think I'll help today, actually. I don't think I will cook it myself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know what you're having?
Yeah, it's the Norwegian meatballs, kjøttkaker. Yeah. Homemade, of course. Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely. Absolutely. Yeah. What about you? What's your plan today? Some paranormal hunting?
If only. No, it's my mother-in-law's birthday today. So.
Ooh, actually, it's my wife's birthday today.
Really?
So, yeah, it is.
Oh well, happy birthday.
Yeah, I'll say happy birthday to her.
It's a good month, Mine's later this month, but.
Yeah, I know. I have it on my phone actually.
Oh, it's on your. You've got my birthday.
Yeah.
No, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go cook. I'm gonna cook for them and my wife's sisters and all that, and their husbands and all that. So I'm gonna make my famous chicken scampi, which I'm sure I've shared pictures of on Reddit before. It's
yeah.
Pasta and chicken and onions and wine, and it's good.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Although it'll be the biggest batch I've ever made of it, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that can be hard to get the taste right when it's a bigger portion.
Yeah, honestly, I'll probably end up just making two separate portions at the same time.
Yeah,
keeps it all right.
Definitely.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Again, off topic again. You mentioned it. We love food, don't we?
Yes. I as I was going to sleep last night, I was just trying to think of other topics. I'm like, we could talk about cooking again for another hour.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
I'll gladly do that.
Yeah, sure. But now we have set the next topic up for mythology. Yeah. I think that's great. I'll write it down here in my notepad. Mythology. Why do I write English? I don't know. I do.
Yeah, your brain's in English mode because you're talking to me.
Yeah, but that's fine. So, I guess there is just one thing to say, or a couple to say. If you want to be a guest, hit us up, because we would like to have someone to talk to exchange some topics and views with. And we try to post every Saturday at 3 o'clock my time. I don't know what that time in.
It's like that must be minus. It's like 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. I think our time.
Yeah, it's about 8 a.m. in Minnesota time. Yeah, I mean time zones is a big, call it mistake.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, as a web developer, I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's a can of worms. Yeah. Well, and of course, everyone should also check out Martin's YouTube. He posts some folklore stuff and some cooking videos and some hikes and bikes and all sorts of fun stuff, and eventually some boating once it gets warm out, I bet. So
yeah, we usually go the first time to our summer house in Easter, so to open it up, and then we have the boat on the water after that. So yeah, thank you for promoting me, Tony. It's
well, of course. I gotta. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
But yeah. Well, any other final thoughts you have?
Subscribe to us.
Yes, subscribe. Listen
to us We're on everywhere you find the podcasts, and remember to give us the reviews on Spotify or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast, wherever you listen.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, wherever you find us, give us a little review, some stars or whatever kind of voting system they have. It makes us more available for more people. And I actually, I have to mention it. I did a real screw up yesterday. I tried to do something that we could earn more listeners, and I ended up making all of our episodes behind the paywall. I almost got a heart attack, but the people on Anchor, his name was Ollie. I chatted with him. He was really nice, and he saw that we didn't have any subscribers yet, so he cancel it, and so I had to publish them all again.
Oh man!
So it was just clicking into episode and publish them. It was done in about under a minute, but yeah. But then again, I saw today we have gained 30 to 40 views after I did that. So something happened.
Yeah, yeah. You should screw up again later.
Yeah, it was. I didn't. Yeah, what happened? I don't know. Something happened, and it was positive in the end. Yeah, that was. Yeah, my heart attack yesterday. Yeah, I guess that's a goodbye to people.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and like and subscribe and send us information, and or not information, questions. You can send us information.
Yeah, send us information too. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I mean, if you have some inputs on what are we talking about, or if our information is totally wrong, hit us up. I mean, we're not the wisest people around, I guess. We have people wiser than us, believe it or not.
A couple anyway.
Yeah, a couple anyway.
All right.
Until next time, people.
Yeah, see everyone next week.
Bye.